was telling you before we sat on this podcast that I'm seeing a lot of couple teaching on Netflix about how to pleasure man. Now we are on the now we are here. It's not there is the training of taking the probiotics.
Probiotics, fermented foods. Easy. Is there a way I can make it easy? Pedestrian. Yeah. Did I say it for the pedestrian person?
Yes. You are all right now. One of the things we suffer a lot are the jargons in this field. So it passes us because now today it's when I'm knowing that actually fermented stuff is what actually is called.
And it's not only good for women alone. Sorry to if I cut you short, but it's also good for men. Because also women complain about the quality of sperm that gets into the
low sperm count.
Low sperm count. Sometimes it's too acidic. It burns you. It leaves you burning, and it's supposed to have been but man, there's a lot of itching and burning going on.
Oh, yeah?
When you guys don't eat probiotics, when you don't drink enough water, you also burn us.
We are doing acids instead of doing the right protein laden kind of semen.
So probiotics are also good for kids. They're not just good for women alone. They're good for men as well. So your question again.
Yes. We are with the men now. The men, Mr. Matheka has been talking a lot about pleasuring women in bed, but nobody really talks about how to pleasure man, the male anatomy, how it works. Yeah. You have something to say?
Okay, that's exciting to know. And also, I'm happy that there's somebody who is talking to men about how to pleasure women.
Yeah.
Don't get angry. I think we are making a societal shift. Before, there was a whole patriarchal conditioning that had made it so hard for women to experience pleasure. And yet men needed to see women experience pleasure. So now that the word is out there, now that women have been freed, now that women have been taught, so understand that, yes, the male child has been left behind. We also need to pick him to measure up to this woman who has been educated, or this woman who the men have been educated to pleasure. Okay, so it's not a bad thing they're doing for the women. And we still have a long way to go. So it's also good that we bring the men up to speed. So do you think that women have a false understanding of the male anatomy?
They do.
What pleasures men?
They do. For example, a lot of women don't know that you don't play a lot with the hard on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because the base is already making it stand. So you can't move it side by side. It's very painful.
Okay.
Do
men communicate that to the women?
You just flinch.
Actually, men don't. Men do not know how to communicate their sexuality and sexual pleasure. They would rather go and communicate with somebody else. They don't tell the women. Men don't think women can handle rejection or can handle being told that what you did, this was good, this was bad. So they are good at lying to women and leading them on. So one of the things that men can do for themselves also is, the whole conversation about consent, about what turns me on, what works for me. Because when we get to look at how to pleasure a man, again, I don't like to put all men in one basket. Right? I feel
you
everybody...
told me that, yes.
Exactly. Everybody has different sexual personality. You were telling me how some men say the whole touch thing, art of touch is BS to them.
Yes.
While others will tell you, for me, that's what I like. So there's the whole sensual art of touch. And honestly, scientifically, women need more touch than men.
Yeah.
Because men are aroused by what they see. So for men, it's playing with their sight. Yeah? If a woman
showing
knows
them those boobs.
The boobs, the sensuality of the body, it's where they are lying. It's how confident you are in your body. They just want to see you use your body to talk, as opposed to you getting to touching them. On the other hand, women need more touch, and men give less touch. What I find ironic is that we are in our society as well. They got it wrong. We are taught how to pleasure men by massaging them. So the classes we have in Uganda is how to massage a man. You get married, and all the while you have skin hunger. This man doesn't touch you because you spend most of the time massaging him and he's horny the moment you start touching, just one part of the body. Then he wants to penetrate and you're not yet there. And then tomorrow he's not going to massage. He says, no, I don't know how to do that. Then he won't allow you to go to a massage parlor to get a massage. Women experience touch hunger, yet they need it. And I tell you why. Men struggle to communicate emotionally. I think the biggest problem we have is men are not emotional. Men do not know how to tap into their heart center. Men do not know how to have emotional holding power. Meaning when...
That's another jargon.
Okay, emotional holding power is when a woman begins to express how she feels about you and what she wants from you and how she wants you to do this. Or when she feels like she wants to cry or she wants to scream and you find it intense. It's not like you say, no. And then you definitely say words like, you're too sensitive. And then when she's intense for you, what happens for men is that most men are actually avoidantly attached or dismissive. When the woman has been too intense for him, he will spend some time being away, which we call auto-regulation for men. Men go away not because they are disappearing from the woman, but they need to auto-regulate. Like they need to first take some time to take in this intensity before they can come for more. Now, because they don't know they're actually doing that, they don't know how to communicate it. So then he stays longer at the bar. He goes into work. Kumbe, he's just scared of the intensity that is waiting for him at home. There are two things we experience. When a man goes into the man cave, he's looking for space, independence, autonomy. But actually, he's taken so much intensity that he needs some space to process it. Then he comes back for more. Then the woman feels left hanging because there was no communication about it. Right? And so she has the wrong language about it. So she will say, maybe he's with somebody else. Or maybe lately I'm not good enough. Or maybe, because he's gone away. There's disconnection. So there's that bit because men have not been taught how to communicate their emotions and also express their needs. That's one of the things we are dealing with right now, the biggest biggie, right? So that being there, if what was the original point that we were talking about before we go to that?
We were talking about different love languages for men, and we were talking about how to specifically
emotional
pleasure
connection.
Men. Yes.
Thank you. So because men don't verbalize their emotions, and then they do not know how to sit with them, when a man gives touch to a woman, it's emotional. Touch is emotional. So if men learn how to touch more, that's how they get to connect with the woman and they're able to talk to her and they get to connect with her. But also on the other hand, when a woman touches a man, so let's look at the massage from Uganda that you experienced, because it's sensual. She falls into herself first. Then she brings a relaxed person. She brings a woman who is into her feminine energy. And then she puts that on you. So she feels lighter on you. And then she's like, releasing her love, her energies into you. So she's more into herself, and then she's putting that, we call that sensual massage, right? When you're able to feel connected
and
from the touch.
And humans can feel these energies.
Yes, as emotional.
Yeah.
So then what you were experiencing was emotional connection, because she was able to delve into her feminine energy. So she's able to create a connection, this energy connection. And that becomes one of the ways of connecting with men emotionally, right? So touch is how women bring their femininity into the man. It touches how a woman is able so to surrender into her femininity. Imagine a woman who's been out there. She's been in the boardroom. She's been running up and about. Nairobi's so big, She comes back home and honestly, she needs some space to be able to fall into her softness, because up there, she's been running the show, right? And we can't take that away. Now we have them. They are dutiful, and then they also want to be feminine. So one of the ways in which a woman can learn how to fall into her softness, because a man wants to feel her softness, is to use the power of touch. And then to use it is, first of all, to breathe, to learn to breathe, to go into that space, the bathroom, and breathe. Breath relaxes. Breath releases a lot of stress. It releases the pelvic floor muscles of the woman. So even when she's talking, she's able to speak from the depth of herself. When she's mourning, it is deep, But when she's
the mourn is deep.
Yeah, it is deep. When she's breathing, it's
Oh.
It's not like no, it needs to be. It has to come from a deep place. But if she doesn't take some space and use that breath to calm her down, even receiving is going to be hard. So even coming to massage the man is going to be,
Yes.
rushed. Is not going to be that. A woman needs to be able to get into herself so she can be able to connect with the man. So it becomes emotional connection. So touch is actually emotional connection. And then you'll find that some men who don't like it. Like I said, for some men, physical intimacy is not their thing. Some men are sapiosexual. Some men want to connect with your brain. They want to hear how you talk. They want to understand how you understand the world. And that turns them on. So know your man's personality. What is their highest intimacy form? Some men want to first play with you before they can be able to mate with you. But now if you don't understand that, you're going to come and then you're starting to touch him. I look at the different levels of intimacy. There's physical intimacy. There's emotional intimacy. There's recreational intimacy. There's spiritual intimacy. There's intellectual intimacy. All those are ways in which to penetrate a man's mind. Yeah.
Do you mind expanding on each, or that would take a lot of time?
Just lightly. When I say personality, lately most people say, oh, understand his love language, but also understand his intimacy curve, like what comes first on his intimacy list. If I had to ask you, if you had to connect with me in a way that makes it easy for you to be turned on, would you say when I play with you, when I go to watch a match with you, when I go to play tennis with you, when I go for a hike with you, when I play with you, when I go for dance with you, would you say you connect with me? That's one. That's now recreational intimacy. That people connect and turn each other on when they play together. Then there are those who, it's physical intimacy. So physical intimacy has been misunderstood. Physical intimacy goes beyond penetration. Physical intimacy is the little bum bangs, right? Physical intimacy is when you're able to come and sit on him and just rub your ass on him a little bit. Physical intimacy is when you come behind him and then massage his neck and then bite at his ear and you go away. Physical intimacy is when you cuddle and it doesn't have to lead to penetrative sex, but you're just putting your bodies together, right? Physical intimacy is touch beyond penetration. Right? And for some people, that turns them on. They want to just be, touching each other. You'll find there's a woman who complains, hey, but for you, you're just always banging me, touching me, you're fondling me. And it just infuriates her. It means the man has not understood the way to her heart, the way to her vagina. Right? So the same thing for the man. You'll find there's a man who loves that. And then if you find the two of you share that value, then that's your intimacy space. Right? And then now there's penetration. Penetration is the last, although the most heightened form of physical intimacy, but we go to it, or men go to it underestimating these other levels of intimacy. So if she loves physical intimacy, like I love physical intimacy, I love to be touched, I love to be spanked, I love to be, my hair to be pulled, I love my scalp to be touched, I love my ears to be beaten at, I love you to come and play with my nose, I love you to touch me, I love that. By the time you come to me, basically you find rivers between my thighs. You won't need to do a lot. Right? Yet for another woman, it's probably spiritual intimacy, the capacity to pray together, the capacity to hope together, the capacity to expound on what it feels like to use the spirit, to engage with each other, to meditate together, to go into nature together, to be able to travel together. All those are elements of spirituality. Because one, they make you connect with yourself, with the wider universe, and then they make you connect with God in different levels. So you find there are those who turn each other on spiritually because of the way they talk about spirituality. So most people reduce spiritual intimacy to just prayer and going to church. It is beyond that, right? And then there's intellectual intimacy. There are women who, if you talk to her, just look her in the eye and talk to her, you could just turn on everything else on her body by just talking to her. They're sapiosexual. Same thing with men. So you find there's a man who wants to hear your wisdom, your intelligence, the way you say the things that you say, the way you express your worldviews, the way you express your ideas, the way you have emotional intelligence, the way you're able to draw your boundaries, the way you're able to communicate your needs. That turns them on more than the touch. So know your man. While we need all that, it's a hierarchy for everybody. So I'll ask you, what comes first for you?
I like good vibes and talking about topics. I think I would fall in the last one.
Sapiosexual.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if my wife knows about this.
You should tell her.
Should ask her.
You should tell her. Okay.
Do you think she has figured it out?
There's no one who is an angel. No one. You didn't marry an angel. You married a human being. You have to be able to say what you want, what you need, and express it. Yeah. So imagining that she's figured it out. I know in relationships we say, if she loves me, she should figure me out. That takes so long. Today you're miserable because your wife is going to take 5 years to figure out if you're sapiosexual. Simply have a beautiful conversation and say, I get turned on. You could even penetrate it from an angle a day when she sounds brilliant or intelligent. You're like, babe, actually that turns me on. I love how you're able to phrase your words. I love your outlook to life. And I'm beginning to consistently understand that I'm turned on by intellectual conversation. Because every time you talk like that, you turn me on. You're trying to express to her that I would want to have more of these conversations with you. When we go on dates, I would want us to be able to understand that we are going to discuss ideas, to discuss things, So she gets the idea, she gets the point. Then she starts finding out, so what interests him? When he wakes up, he likes to watch CNN. When he comes back home, he wants to talk about what was discussed on Citizen TV. When he comes back home, there's this book he picked up on, and then he's going to say this and that. I will ask him, share with me what you find. I may not be able to read it, but I will show interest in a book that he's reading. So I'll be like, hey, babe, so how far with your book? What have you found interesting? What's exciting? And then learning how to listen to you so that when you start talking about stuff, she's able to listen to you, showing engagement and interest when you're that kind of person before she becomes that kind of person is how she would love you.